our standard, let's say, at Lowell. And to come back and play a really tough, physical UNH team who's an exceptional defensive team. And I thought the first half we were really flying around collectively, offensively. We did a fantastic job. And then the second half, which was really good to see because it's been a little bit of an issue with us, the second half we really came out and guarded. We really locked in and guarded collectively with toughness. They got some offensive rebounds, but we were getting them to miss so many shots. I mean, we held them 29% in the second half, 25% from three. I thought the guys really took to heart what we had talked about after the Lowell game. So a really good team win. You know, in this league's tough, man. Every night you got to play your A game, and whoever plays well is going to win. So I'm really proud of the group where they stepped up and responded after a game that I didn't think we played to our standards.
What did you actually talk about after that Lowell game? What was the message?
A lot of it's going to stay in our locker room.
Mm-hmm.
Connectiveness, defensively, physicality, one-on-one defense in the post, for instance. And like I said, these guys are awesome, and they know. Like I said, they've handled wins great, they've handled losses great, so they knew. We just reinforced, we showed some things, and we really came out. We practiced hard yesterday and addressed some things. And, I'm a big believer in if you can do something once, you can do it over and over again. That's just my belief as a human being, and that goes for everything. So when we don't do it, then we didn't hold ourselves to our standard that we have, and that's never okay. So I thought it was good for us to respond the way we responded.
Coach, what did you think of Yao's performance today going against Daniels, one of the better players in the league? He had 9 rebounds.
You know, I think Yao's been playing really well for us. You know, his energy that he brings every day, he really had that Lowell the other night too, and he's really maturing as a basketball player. That kid Daniels, man, he's a I guess I can't say, he's a really good player. He's tough. And we kind of threw multiple bodies at him, Jarvis, Trayvon. We switched on him, we dug on him. He's a really good player. But I think Yao, as long as Yao continues to keep getting better and bring his energy that he brings to us every day, he really helps us.
This is for any one of you. 50 points in the first half. Is that really how you guys want to play offensively? Obviously, slow down a little bit in the second half. But did you do the things that you really wanted to do offensively in order to play like that?
You got it, Fred?
I think yeah, it is how we want to play. I know we have a lot of offensively talented guys, and coach instills that momentum in us time and time again. But we have to do it on both sides. And like coach said, our defensive attitude was much better than ones at Lowell. So our offense comes from our defense a lot of the time. So when we stepped up on defense, it just translated to offense, and it allowed for a lot of us guys to get going early.
Colton, not every team can say this, but when you guys go to your bench, right, the production from these guys, Trayvon and Dion and Nathaniel and Mason, that's about 30 points a game. How good does it feel to have that second unit be able to come in and not lose a beat?
Yeah, I mean, I haven't always been able to say that I have so much trust in the bench coming in, and just feeling comfortable when they're out there. Especially, while Dion's here as a freshman, it's like, he goes out there and we don't miss a beat. He's engaged, he's willing to learn. And yeah, that goes across the whole roster. Just on any given night, any one of us can have a bad night, but we have enough talent to pick everyone up all the way around. So it's definitely a blessing.
Yeah, what's good about this team is our depth. And I said what's really good about the team is this unselfishness of this group. But when guys come out, they know it's the rest, and they trust what happens in there, and we just keep playing.
Dion, do you feel like you've really settled into that role as a scorer off the bench for you guys like Colton was talking about?
I mean, yeah, coming into my freshman year in college, I really wanted to do whatever I could to stay on the court, whether that be scoring, defending, rebounding. So I was really just grasping at any role I can get. And if I need to score, I'll score. If I need to rebound, I'll rebound. I'll just do whatever coach tells me to do without liking it or not liking it.
Yeah, and Jim, you guys, in that first half, you had a lot of contributors. Is that something that you've been working towards really throughout the entire season, to have that kind of depth where you got like 9 guys scoring or whatever it was?
Yeah, I mean, you've seen us play a little bit. Like, it's kind of my philosophy as a team. It's not a team that we have one guy that scores 20 and everybody else watches. All my teams in the history of me coaching, it's always about playing with pace and space and ball movement and balanced scoring. And to be quite honest, we've been doing it pretty much, what is this, another game we got 80? I mean, we get the other night 75 on the road. Like, we can score. When we play the right way, we can really score. It's when we really defend and put it together, that's where you really get to see the flow and the balance of who we are.
Coach, Oh, go ahead.
No, you do.
Okay. Coach, obviously, defended home court kind of in this little stretch here, 3 out of 4 at home. Now you're going to have 3 out of 4 on the road. Can you talk about how important it was to get these wins at home in a league where the top is so good?
The top is so good, the bottom's so good, the league is everybody's the same. So you gotta win at home. You really do. Because the road is always gonna be challenging. We lost one at home to Vermont, but we got one at Bryant, so we took one back, right? But I think you see a lot of people, they win at home, and so you gotta protect home court. And if you're gonna have a good year, you always gotta protect home court, right? But in this league, more than ever, guys, and it's not just a coach's cliche, it is totally about getting better. Whether you win the game or you lose the game, just get better. Because when March comes around in this league, whoever's playing the best basketball is gonna win the tournament, go to the NCAA tournament. That's it. That's it. So just focus on getting better. When the dust clears at the end of February, you're gonna get your matchup for the tournament, who you're playing. The seeds might not even matter, I don't know, right? You're just gonna get your matchup and then go play. And just hopefully you're playing good basketball at that time.
Colton, your coach mentioned, getting better. Where do you think you guys have gotten better throughout the past couple of months, up until this point?
I think we've been back and forth with defense. I think the general trajectory is going up, but we have definitely got better. I think it's consistency at this point. We have games that are really, really good, and you can see our potential, and that's what we want to carry into the postseason. But right now, it's about just making it consistent, making it a habit, so that we don't really have to think twice about it by the time it really matters.
Dion, I asked Colton about the bench coming in and how he feels, but from your perspective as a freshman, right? You look down the roster, right? Grad student, senior, grad student, etc. So from your perspective, playing with older guys, like what do you pick up? How do you learn from that? Your maturation process.
I mean, coming in, all this stuff was new to me. I mean, I even missed the first 10 games of the season with injury. So in practice, I couldn't do all the things. So I messed up often, honestly. And I always just had an older guy, whether it be Mateo, Booney, Colton, Trayvon, always just, hey, next time do this or do it this way. So I've just always had someone who's older to really just guide me along the right path, which made it so easy to get back. So really just, I feel like I'm almost the same age, but not obviously I'm not, but I feel like we're all just brothers and together, regardless of age. We all just pick each other up and help each other out.
Billy Harry and I were talking about that before the game. Because of the landscape of college basketball now, with the transfer portal and all that stuff, you feel bad for the freshmen. It's hard because everybody's a grown man,
Right.
and like Mason Dock's a really good player, but he's a freshman. His body's a freshman. His mind's a freshman. He's a freshman. He went to prep school, but it's like you feel bad. You have good players that are freshmen. It's just hard for them to get on court because you got dealing with guys that have played not even 4. You got guys that have been in college for 5 years. These are grown men. So the game has changed. So you got to just keep working with them, and you got to trust them, and they got to trust us as they play. So the impact that Dion's having right now, and it goes right. The other day we had a tough night. Yeah. And he's a freshman. You know what I mean? So you got to be there for him, support him. But it's it's just interesting how the whole college landscape has changed a little bit. So the guy's a freshman.
It's interesting because there's been this ebb and flow, right? For you, but it feels like sometimes you come in the game and you're not like looking for your stuff. Like again, you feel like I'm a freshman, I need these other guys to do it. Today, it felt like you came in, you jacked up a couple of threes with hands in your like that was a veteran shot, big time shot, as opposed to like waiting for other guys to do. Like, what do you feel your role is coming in? And coach, what do you want in your role to be?
Well, like I said before, I really don't mind what my role is. If I'm open, I'm gonna shoot. I mean, I've always been a pretty gifted offensive player, so I know my shots. I know what I can and can't make. Like I had some pretty not so smart left-handed hooks with 2 guys on me in the game. Sometimes I take crazy ones, sometimes I make crazy ones. But like I said, just any role I can fill, I'll fill it.
Yeah, I just think his role is to come in and give us energy, aggressiveness, athleticism. His shot making is really improved. But I think we all have trust. You see his practice, guys. You see how we practice with pace and ball movement. So it's all trust. So it's, if I don't like the shot he took, he probably knows it before I can say something to him. So he just has to play off of what's given, what all the guys have to do. Just play with the defense given, and we have 5 guys on the floor that can score at all time. So it's more about his his energy and his athleticism. And he's a really competitive kid, which obviously really helps.
First half, you talk about flying around offensively, like, what's the difference, like, like, you were making shots today, and sometimes you don't make shots, but did you feel like you were playing differently, flying around, where these shots became more open, when Colton's going early to the basket and trying to get in the game with some twos?
I thought our pace was very good. I thought our spacing was very good. Hey, we came out against Lowell doing the same thing too.
Yeah.
We really shot the ball well. We're starting to get in a little bit of a rhythm, which I said coming out of Christmas we weren't. You've seen us back in an offensive rhythm right now. So again, it's about playing with pace, playing with space, and taking what the defense gives us. I thought they did a really good job of that early.
Colton, let me ask you one more question. We had talked, we were at a practice maybe a few weeks ago, 3-4 weeks ago, we had a chance to talk. The transition from D2 to D1. Now that you're into the conference season, you're 6 games into the conference season, you're kind of getting a feel for what these teams are like and how they play. How is the transition? Is it more defense, like, is it harder to defend against big, like, what's happening for you?
Yeah, definitely a challenge for me individually has been the quickness and defending that. But I think the most glaring thing is the schedule, how demanding it is. We just played 4 games in 7 days, whatever it was, and being able to really challenge yourself every single night and get into that, you know, competitive mindset. And there's a lot sitting around the hotel and stuff. That's stuff that I wasn't used to, and Coach warned me about before the season that it would take some adjusting. But you know, hopefully towards the end of the year, I'll start to get used to it. But it's you got to put it on yourself to you know, get into that mindset as much as you can. But I think that's the biggest, most glaring difference to me.
All right, thanks, guys.
Thanks, guys.